Good afternoon, everyone. Let's see, it's May 18th, and I think we're going to hit about 85 today here in North Kakalaki. So I was going to talk a little bit about propagating rosemary. Now, I have had some success and some failures, and I've tried it with rooting hormone, but most of my success, I think, has come with rooting it in water. When you do make your cuttings, you try to get a softwood cutting, and I don't know if you can see the difference. Lay this right here. And the wood, how this is dark and this is light. Well, I scrape it. You scar it because rosemary is just kind of a hardwood plant. And it's best to do it in the spring. You can do it in the summer. You want to get a softwood cutting if you can. But see, I've got roots on this one. Like I did, I don't know, maybe 10 cuttings. Like see this one, this is all dead. This one didn't make it. I have a couple that did not root, but I think, let's see, I've got some that's rooting better than others. I've planted a couple already, and I said, well, I should have done a video. So I had a couple that rooted like this. The other ones, they look like they're not going to make it. They're starting to get dark needles. So let me show you a couple of my successes. Hold on. So this little guy, I think he's going to make it. Hope you can see. I'll probably wind up moving it later. I probably shouldn't have planted it here, but it was before I had planted a bunch of other stuff. But I have two that I propagated last year, and I never got them planted. So they're hardy. They made it through the winter here. They've got new little needles coming out. A couple of them are going bad. So my problem with rosemary is sun, because I'm partial shade. But then that one little guy's living. This little guy's living back here, so that's 3. And this one I propagated a couple years ago. So this one's doing okay. I've got one in another bed. I have some that I planted in some other beds that didn't get a lot of light that I've pulled up, and because they were just taking up a lot of room and they got lanky. Rosemary does need full sun. This area here, I think I might give 4 or 5 because I am successful with growing my tomatoes. And I got a pepper plant here that's got a bloom. So I can grow peppers and tomatoes, not really big tomatoes. But you really need full sun and they'll get big. I've got some at Mom's that's got massive. So you need a lot of room if you have a lot of sun. Now this one has been in this bed for a couple years, and but it's still doing good. It's got new growth. I used to use a lot of rosemary in cooking. I don't use it as much. That's why, because I have so many, but I still like propagating and giving plants to my friends. So rosemary is great if you do teas for colds, and you can just rub it, and it's got a great scent. You can just sniff it, kind of like lavender if you want to. Or rosemary is great for your meat, especially chicken. Different kind of meats. So yeah, it's I guess harder to propagate than most herbs. This is probably I haven't tried lavender yet, so I would say lavender is kind of finicky, and then rosemary is too. But once you get one going, then you've got one. As long as don't water it too much. It don't want a lot of water. And if you got a big one and you try to move it or cut it, it will stress it out. I had a massive one years ago, and it got too big. My daddy kept fussing at me to cut it, and I did, and it just was not happy. So, I mean, you can snip it off and get rosemary for cooking or whatever. But if you cut it dramatically, it'll go in shock, and it won't be happy. So, I hope you like this video, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and happy gardening.